Hello students, I am Bindu. Today I am going to explain a lesson. Different ecosystems, part 1 of class 8 biology. You know that our planet Earth has beautiful nature with wide variety of plants and animals. The Earth is said to have been formed about 4.8 billion years ago, and the first sign of life is said to have appeared about 3.8 billion years ago. However, it was not until about 1.4 billion years ago that the first multicellular organisms appeared. You know that nearly 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water. This part of Earth is called hydrosphere. Yet another unique feature of Earth is its atmosphere, which is a mixture of gases, water vapor, and fine dust surrounding the Earth. The surface or crust of the Earth is called lithosphere. It represents the mountains, the ocean floors, and the plain lands. The hydrosphere, atmosphere, and lithosphere of the Earth together constitute the biosphere. It is the sum total of all organisms and their places of living. On the Earth, life is influenced by its physical environment. At the same time, the various factors in the environment influences the living organisms. The scientific studies which enable us to understand the totality and pattern of the relations between organisms and their environment is called ecology. It is also known as environmental science. What is ecosystem? The word ecosystem was first used in 1935 by A.G. Tansley, a British botanist and ecologist, to describe a basic unit of nature. Tansley coined the word as reduction of the term ecological system to ecosystem. According to him, nature works as a system in which organisms and their communities are influenced by many non-living environmental factors and vice versa. Till the use of the term ecosystem, people were studying interrelationships in nature in separate units, mainly of an individual and those live in the environment. Habitat is a place that fulfill the needs of such organisms Learning objectives. After the completion of this lesson, you will be able to know definition of ecosystem, levels of organization, components of ecosystem, biotic components, abiotic components, interaction between biotic and abiotic components, food chains. Keywords: habitat, ecosystem, food web, producers, consumers, decomposers, thermophilic fungi, energy flow, nocturnal, biotic components, abiotic components, levels of organization. Let us look at the natural system with the levels or hierarchy of organization. It provides a convenient framework for dealing with complex interrelationships. The most clearly identifiable levels are organisms, species, populations, communities, and ecosystems. Any form of life can be called an organism. A large number of variety of organisms are found on the planet Earth, from the single-celled amoeba to humans, and from microscopic bacteria to huge banyan trees. An organism represents an individual member to the next level called species. A species is a group of similar organisms sharing common genetic structure. Hence, they are capable of breeding only among themselves. All human beings belong to the species Homo sapiens. Dogs belong to the species Canis familiaris. Pea plants belong to the species Pisum sativum. A collection of individuals belonging to the same species occupying a given area at a given time is called population. In a given area, the populations that exist have different species of plants, animals, and other organisms. All these different populations together constitute a biotic community. Members of a community interact with each other. The world around us is made up of living and non-living factors. The living is called biotic factors, while non-living are called abiotic factors. There is a continuous interaction between these living and non-living factors. Living organisms and their habitat and environment are correlated with each other. The structure which is formed due to these reciprocal relationships is called an ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic factors and their interactions form an ecosystem. The ecosystem forms the basic unit of study in environmental science. Earth has different kinds of living organisms living in a variety of habitats. Each habitat has a set of unique features. Hence, we have varieties of ecosystems on this planet Earth. The different kinds of ecosystems on the Earth together constitute the biosphere. Living things like plants, animals, and microorganisms are known as biotic components of the ecosystem, whereas other factors like soil, water, air, sunlight, etc. are called as abiotic components of the ecosystem. All these organisms live together and interact with one another in many ways. Components of ecosystem. The ecosystems consist of two basic components: the non-living components and the living components interacting with each other. The non-living components are also called abiotic components. They represent the physical, chemical, and climatic conditions operating in the environment. Physical factors include air, light, heat, soil, and water. Chemical factors are represented by the various organic and inorganic substances, whether required or not by the living organisms. Climatic factors are represented by rainfall and humidity. The living components are also called biotic components. They are represented by plants, animals, bacteria, and fungi. Plants are described as autotrophs since they are capable of manufacturing their own food. Apart from green plants, algae also belong to this category. The food prepared by these organisms is used by all other organisms, either directly or indirectly. Hence, it is commonly said, all flesh is grass. The green plants in land ecosystems and algae in an aquatic ecosystem are described as producers. Animals are heterotrophs. Since they cannot prepare their own food and readily consume what is available. Hence, in any ecosystem, animals are described as consumers. You know that animals differ in their food habits. There are some animals that feed only on plants and they are called herbivores. In the ecosystems, herbivores are described as primary consumers. Since they obtain their food energy directly by feeding on plants. The grasshoppers, the deer, the cattle are the examples of primary consumers. There are animals that obtain their food by eating herbivores. They are described as secondary consumers. The grasshoppers may be consumed by frogs. The deer or cattle may become the food for lions or tigers. Examples like frogs, lions, and tigers are secondary consumers. Some animals obtain their food by feeding on secondary consumers.